This is the sixth installment in a series of video blogs in which members of the Southern Africa Climate Finance Partnership reflect on their experiences of participating in and delivering the past 6 years of the program. The series seeks to explore the lessons from knowledge brokering within a community of practice for climate finance mobilization. This video blog explores the lessons emerging from peer learning and targeted technical assistance provided by the program.
Knowledge brokering uncovered some kind of broad areas of needs, but through this process, more granular needs emerged, which mirrored the shift for entities seeking accreditation to actually implementing.
Over the 3 years delivering Phase 3 of the SACFP, the team designed and facilitated a series of bilateral and multilateral peer-to-peer engagement opportunities, where practitioners sharing their experiences could shine a light on opportunities for one another.
We assumed that not all of the needs that were unveiled in the capacity needs assessment could be addressed through peer-to-peer learning. And this highlighted the fact that pinpoint and technical assistance would be required to address some unique and almost very specialist skill sets that needed to be introduced into a new topic area.
Yeah, very, very, for lack of better word, humble position, role that they play, taking the back seat, but bringing people together of different countries, different entities, and allowing them to think through some of the challenges, but exposing them to world-class expertise.
Working alongside practitioners in peer learning contexts and with the aid of experts with practical experience helped to surface useful key lessons.
The work that SSN has done with us has really helped us to define our challenges and our problems.
When you get to start something, you will not have buy-in from everyone, but the important process is to communicate. Once we understood what we were trying to put together, we then communicated it to our colleagues and to our principals, and the support has been overwhelming, both from the board and from the management. So this process has been driven particularly from executive level as well as the board intervention.
It's a conversation that previously was sort of hard to sell within the organization, but the more interactions we had with SSN sort of gave us the impetus and made us to see various strategies that we could use to get that buy-in of the entire organization all the way from the bottom to the top.
Our management at the very top has been able to buy into the issues of climate finance, understand better environmental and social issues and how they affect the operations of the bank. It is a critical achievement.
There's buy-in at the level of management, there's buy-in at the level of board. They need a bit more education. They need to be shown the bigger picture a little bit more. But I think it won't take much time before we are on the track that we want to be with respect to playing a really significant role in the climate finance landscape in Botswana.
We have found that it is important, to have a dedicated team to deal with GCF accreditation. It's quite a cumbersome process. It's a lengthy process. It can be extremely challenging, to advance your accreditation with the GCF without that focus.
We also realized very quickly that we need to grow certain roles within EIF in areas of expertise that GCF really requires, especially during programming and reporting. We have a specialist in ESS on board. We have a gender specialist, fixed term person on board. We have an internal auditor now on board. We needed those positions, but convincing the board to approve several positions in one financial year is not an easy thing.
So the starting point was to actually know the terms of reference of the team. Having learned through the peer-to-peer engagements, we avoided some of the pitfalls that could have happened.
The bank really invested in new resources, human resources, to enable it to go through the accreditation process. It didn't do that only, but also had to kind of restructure one department, creating a whole new division, climate finance, and recruiting a manager for that division. And then the team, myself, my colleague, the gender expert, and also a climate finance expert in the division.
Internally, there's a process that was started to develop a strategy for the bank to manage sustainability initiatives. So the benefit of the core team in interacting with SSN team was to refine some thought process around that strategy. And obviously, senior management and the board saw more value add in terms of what was coming out of that team.
Initially, we didn't have climate finance in our business strategy. And as we went along, we realized that although we're trying to put all the necessary policies and guidelines in place, we actually realized like, we don't really have so much in our strategy in terms of what is that we want to achieve with this, should we still even get accredited. So we went a step back, and SACP has actually helped us first, like I said, to do a gap analysis. And the gap analysis has actually identified what is that's missing in our processes. So with that, we were able to identify and put together something in our strategy.
So the activity area on technical assistance was unique in two ways. The first was that it, where possible, built on, or at least tried to extract from a resource pool that was localized, and that was intentional, so that ultimately the technical assistance pool of experts within the Southern African region is expanded. But then secondly, and potentially more importantly, was that the provision of technical assistance didn't in itself seek to prop up or fill a gap in itself, but rather build and enhance the capacities and capabilities of those working within those institutions to be able to prop up and fill the gap.
You know, I've been following since 2018 at Swakopmund, these networks and these meetings. And, you know, you choose your consultants very carefully, even this one. You know, the discussions about, you know, programming requirements, very high level. Skilled professional who is facilitating these sessions, collection of consultants. So yeah, that aspect is very, very important, and I would just encourage you to continue to do that. Take the back seat, but make things happen. Allow the entities to mostly speak to themselves, share experiences, but also just bring in a catalytic fashion world-class experts to also give them some of the real experiences of what the requirements are, what are the challenges, what are the nuances involved in working with GCF. That has been very good.
So it's working with special providers, and I say special providers, unique providers who understand that the provision of technical assistance ultimately has an endpoint, and that endpoint often means providing enough of the answer, but then enough of the space for the institutions and the practitioners there to self-actualize and realize what the answers are themselves and to execute on those.
In the 7th and final installment of this vlog series, we explore the future of the SACFP.